Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another pubcast. My name is Hoid, and we'll be doing yet again another game over from the Dota 2 Cast It subreddit. And this one's just an all pick, but we'll get through it. It's okay. So yeah, I was not so sure I was going to get to casting one today, but this probably won't go up until Thursday morning at the very least due to slow internet, but I'll try to get up as fast as I can. I might have to plan something out because Wednesdays are usually pretty busy for me, but that's on my end. I'm just glad I finally had a chance to do it. I'll pick. Draft really isn't that big of a deal. I'll just introduce everybody as they kind of come up. Luna, Terrorblade, mid Terrorblade or mid Luna probably. Oh, Storm Spirit does make things a little different though. Oh, there we go. Tinker, Tusk, pretty standard pick so far. These lanes are gonna be a little weird for Dire side. Earthshaker, okay, they might probably want a ranged support for the last one if you were coordinating or whatever. And Vengeful Spirit, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Alright. We'll just go, and then Omni Knight. Yeah, Omni Knight and Viper picked. So, Viper safe lane carry with... Oh, mouse got stuck there. Viper safe lane carry with Omni Lion supports, Tinker middle, and Tusk in the off lane. Buying a Quelling Blade instead of a Stout Shield. I guess because this is all pick, I won't try to criticize the strategy and stuff. I'll look at items and skill builds. I'll do some more of that, the purge-ish kind of cast. Should give that a little practice, I guess. This game was sent in by Deckard Pain. As you can see, the Terrorblade here with the awesome Arcana item. Yeah, there we go. There's your moment of fame, Deckard Pain. Good job, Arcana. Is it? Oh, it's the real one too. I was gonna guess. Some people have the one you can get at the the auspicious one, whatever. So it's a Storm Spirit mid with a goodness. Why is my mouse sticking? Repicked by the Luna into Clockwork. That lane makes a little bit more sense. Though I don't know why the Vengeful Spirit's going to come lane with him. That is a little odd. I think they're trialing. Oh, it is going to work. Okay, he was just walking that way for kicks and giggles. Tusk in the off lane. He's got good regen, but I think because he's a melee hero going up against what he should be guessing is a tri-lane, a Stout Shield is kind of necessary. So if you're putting yourself in that situation, I'm not going to be surprised if this guy dies pretty early on because right clicks are going to be a big deal. Though it does look like the Omni Knight is going to be laning with him. They don't want to do a tri-lane. Fair enough. But the two melee off lane dual lane against a tri lane, they're gonna be having a hard time getting much farm rate. I think. Wards were bought by both teams as far as I can tell, and couriers, so it must not be that low of skill level of a game. So we got that looking forward to that. Interested to see what Tinker will put his first skill point into, mostly because I've just been learning to play Tinker lately, and I just want to know what other people do. Laser will be the final one, just used for some harass here. Like I said, I was interested because I've been playing Tinker recently, and I found that the robot's level 1 going against a lower ranged hero, like if they're not sniper basically, and you get there we go, Stonewall on top. I won't miss any of the action. That DD rune is off now, and the stuns have been used. One more Venge stun could get it, but it looks like they'll save it for Omni Knight. Yep, who's there, but it's not enough follow-up damage at all. And they'll both walk away, regen up, and be a little worse for wear, but alright for the most part. As I was saying, Tinker, March of the Machines, he did get the second point into it, but I've noticed the first point, first skill point to Tinker isn't going to be a big deal, but I found that March of the Machines is pretty good if you use it here, with your back to the enemy wave, as it goes over it, yeah, like that. Just earlier on, even from level 1 is a pretty fantastic pretty fantastic because he has to stand back for the entirety of the march. Most heroes do, I would imagine, unless they're a really tanky one like Viper or other passive tank related heroes. But even at level 1, he's not going to have corrosive skin, so you'd be able to get him out of lane fairly easily. Item builds look like they are pretty, I mean, what you'd want out of a pub game. Anything you could expect. Some harass going back and forth, but he seemed to be getting a few too many misses for it to mean anything. Storm Spirit did buy the Null Talisman and got some tangos with it. So taking him a little bit longer to get his bottle. Yeah, he's just sending it out now at 2 minutes. Not a bad timing, but it's a little slow. If you just go with the Iron Branches and tangos, then you can get it about a minute earlier. But he seems to be fine. He'll regen up here. Yeah, definitely battle throwing, no doubt about that. And he'll be fine middle for the time being. But this Tinker, he's got pretty good lane dominance with the March of the Machines and the lasers. And he's put a second point into the rocket. It's caught back in a little bit, but just uses the illusion rune. There's the robots, but he's gonna be able to get away pretty easily. Rockets are 120 mana, and he's definitely within threshold. I just want to make sure. Okay, haven't mistake kills yet, but this Tusk is really close to dying. Abaddon, using his true form, will get the last hit there out on Tusk. And any more stuns coming out, any slows, magic immunity. There's a TP top. We have a Earth Spike that gets one, but the last auto attack will land over on the Omni Knight. So tri-lane's going good. This is a very, very good position. Terrorblade popping the level 2 Metamorphosis, big deal. A lot of early damage, and generally why people consider him to be kind of a broken hero at the time. But the what was it? Strength. It was a strength nerf, right? Strength nerf was really devastating for him. Look at it. He's got no stat items, and his HP is below 500 at level 3. That is pretty bad. That is really bad. So he's just significantly easy to bring down, but you gotta have the right amount of burst and range combination to make it worth it. Hand of Midas at 4 minutes. Whoop, doggy. That is a fast one, and certainly one of the fastest pub Midases I've ever seen. Holy cow. That double kill and the first blood and the fact that he didn't spend much gold, that was a huge gamble that paid off for him. He'll have it to him like 4:45, and that'll be a fantastic timing for him. And they have the late game, safe to say, the dire side too. I mean, apart from Tinker and Viper, I mean, to be fair, Omni Knight is one of the best late game supports, out of all of them, simply because Guardian Angel, and Purification, and Repel are just amazing when it comes to late game and just the sustainability. As long as he's not crushed into the dirt and gets like killed a billion times and is like level 11 at 35 minutes or something like that. So, but regardless, I still think Viper, the combination of Viper and Tinker isn't enough to outcarry the Storm Spirit and the Terrorblade, especially because Storm Spirit's a very mobile hero, and you need a very mobile hero to take out Tinker. You can set up ganks and whatnot. Considering Orchid is usually an item you go on Storm Spirit, it's very solid synergy in taking out the Tinker and stopping them from bursting you down and whatnot. This top lane, it was a tri-lane now. Oh, Tusk uses the snowball. Say tri-lane for the Radiant now too. Tusk uses the snowball, but 2 right clicks, and that'll be it. We have an illusion out. Repel's not gonna save you from Terrorblade, man. One more, and there will be Lion. Oh, gets stunned up. The fissure hadn't been used yet. One more right click, and holy cow, this Terrorblade is getting fed. Yeah, you can understand why. Viper was killed on the bottom lane by a rotation from Clockwork. We didn't have time to look at that as the top lane was getting wiped. But the only level 1 Electric Vortex and the Clock. He has his ultimate though. Didn't use it. Viper must have been really far up into the lane for something like that to happen. So, small misplay by him, and just total dominance from the Dire side right now. They have this weird mix of heroes that do a lot of things early on, like Tusk and Viper to an extent. You want to get an early game lead, after level 6. You want to be able to use that to get kills. You're not going to be farming easily with Viper. You want to be able to get kills as Viper, and how Viper gets kills is he gets tanky early on, and he chases people down before they have the sustainability to survive, like the onslaught of his AIDS combo. So, but they have the Tinker, who doesn't come online until he has Boots of Travel, who actually is decently there, a quarter of the way there at 7 minutes. He'll get it unimpeded, especially with this Ancient stack. He'll get it around, I'd guess 11 minutes, right around there, give or take a minute. Right around 11 minutes, and that'll be a very solid timing for him. That is the one unfortunate thing that the Dire haven't done yet. They've destroyed this top lane. They've ganked the Viper once. I'm not saying that's game losing once, but they have control over these lanes. They've won them more or less. The Clockwork hasn't died at all, which is a win, and he's gotten the kill. Mid had a successful gank. He got some gold from that, but this Tinker hasn't been contested yet at all. He's been mid, and he hasn't been interrupted very much. Ooh, Storm using his ultimate to jump in for the rune, but the Tinker right-clicks it at the last moment, and in fact, Storm will use up half of his mana to get no rune. That's a little unfortunate for him, but he kind of had to try, otherwise he guaranteed the Tinker would get that rune. So, but quick thinking from the Tinker. Was he expecting there to be another rune there? Because that one was the 8-minute one, 90% certain. So, yeah, some little weird. I mean, he has his soul ring now. He has the components. He's just got to combine them, and that'll be very good for him. But they'll be wanting to get boots. They want to be not sitting ducks against the Terrorblade. Much in the same way that Viper wants to get early kills and early team fights with being tanky and his crazy amount of damage where people can run away. Terrorblade also wants to be able to do that, except he's not tanky in the traditional sense. He's tanky in the fact that he can sunder HP back up from an enemy used correctly. It's obviously, I'm saying they're similar, not exactly the same thing, but Metamorphosis is huge. Look at this, 80 damage on top of his 70. He doesn't have any damage items whatsoever. 70 damage, 80. That's a lot of damage for early on.
Something bad is happening.
And so he's gonna be doing the same thing that the Viper is trying to do here at the Clockwork, but he's just gonna run away, which is dealing large amounts of damage early on before people can tank up, and then you get kills. You establish some gold that way. Terrorblade and Viper are both like fighting carries more or less. They're not hard. Well, Terrorblade can be a hard carry. He has the illusions. He has the ability to do that, but he's not a super hard carry because you have to build a lot into tank ability on him, and at a point you have to start to trade off tank ability for damage, and if the opponent's lineup can handle it, then he's pretty easy to kill. Though the only one I would be worried about for the Dire team, for Deckard Pain up here on the Terrorblade would be the Tinker. Between the rockets, which have an insane range as you can see here, between the rockets and the pure damage coming out on his laser, Tinker's going to be the biggest threat to kill him when he's super low. So I'm wondering if after his first big purchase here, which is 3,600 gold, I mean, I've seen people do it before. I don't like it. I don't think it's a great item choice, but it's pretty clear he's going for Radiance. So he'll have this. Yeah, we'll see it now. We'll see the Sacred Relic picked up on the courier and have it sent out to him. Yep, Radiant's first item coming out, he doesn't even have boots yet. This is a little bit of a mistake, I think, because all the Radiant have to do is kind of like run at him. 315 move speed isn't nothing to sneeze at, but Tusk is a great initiator. He has Walrus Punch, and Terrorblade is still sitting at 600 HP. We've seen a little bit of a siege here coming out from the Radiant out here on the bomb lane. The Tinker jumps there. TP's in. The Storm Spirit jumps in, but he's going to die now to damage over time. Tinker rearms. Robots are there, but these guys are super low. One more rocket barrage coming out from Tinker, and they would be good as gone. Tinker getting his boots just around 11 minutes, as I was suspecting, and this bottom tier 1 tower is definitely in trouble now. They want to get some gold. They want to take this tier 1 early. Mid's pretty safe right now, so they don't have to worry about that. Tusk is managing the Terrorblade top. They want to get this tower advantage early on. Stun coming out from the Vengeful Spirit. Jump in by the Storm Spirit, just on the Lion though, and he's jumped into 4 heroes within range. There's the Hex coming out, there's the Earth Spike, and now the Clockwork. Just one more rockets, and there we go. Viper getting the double kill. This is where you want to be. Oh wow, Omni Knight getting picked off there in the end. A little too close to the tower and everything. But Viper, that's what. Yeah, there you go. He's got his kills. 4 kills now. 1 death. And that's what we want to be doing as Viper. He went the mech build, pretty decent. His supports aren't mech builders. Well, Omni Knight kind of is, but he kind of lacks the mana to support his own spells, much less the mech. So, coming out at it was like 12 minutes or so. A very solid time in for it. They're going to want to do something much more than just that tower, and it looks like it with this TP onto the top lane. We'll see Viper and company try to either gank the Terrorblade or take this tier 1 tower with Boots of Travel, March of Machines, and the mech over here on Viper. They might be down 3 kills and a whole heaping of gold, but one thing's for certain, they can do a lot more right now. They are a team that can do a lot more at this point right now, basically. Much later, and it's gonna all go to waste, and much earlier than they would have all exploded here. But heals coming out. Storm Spirit just wasted all his mana running away from the Viper. He's got Repel on him. We just see a couple of right clicks coming out. Deckard Pain has the Metamorphosis up, and this Viper is most certainly dead now. Tower damage. Oh, rockets take Terrorblade really low. One more set. There we go, and oh, last set of rockets coming out. That'll get the kill on Terrorblade without a doubt. Storm Spirit has nowhere to jump to, but they don't have vision of him. Tusk guarding the Tinker as he gets away from the Earthshaker. The stun wasn't able to come off. And it's a 1-for-2 trade. 1-for-2 trade, and it's a very solid position for the Radiant now. They've definitely recouped their losses. The Terrorblade has 2 big items. Unfortunately, neither of those items help him resist this push or this burst that's coming out. Tinker's level 11, level 4 rockets for some more points and lasers. He is a big deal. He's the Blink Dagger. Yeah, they're going to want to push mid. They're going to want to push as a team and do stuff together before the Dire team have a solid chance at getting farm and whatnot. The Storm Spirit only has Power Treads, Bottle, and a Null Talisman, like Robe of the Magi, but not very big items. They aren't, like I can do things now item. These are, I really hope I can, survive with these items before my team needs me. We'll be seeing a murdering of the supports here. They tried to get the Lion, focus him down, but it was to no avail. 3 dead over on the Dire team. Tusk has a haste rune. He finds out the Storm Spirit, but he's got full mana, so he doesn't really want to run on him. And instead, this tier 1 mid will be the focus of it. Blink Dagger doing work there on Tinker is very good pickup. I know I've seen some people buy Dagon first on him, and after seeing oh wow, the illusion, the second one comes through. There's the mech, but it might actually tick down on the line. He's rather weak. Tusk going really deep towards this tower. It just bashes just bashes. Oh, the Sunder comes out, swaps a little bit of HP. It's not a big one. Echo Slam coming out on the Viper, but he'll get the kill. Oh, Guardian Angel just a little too late. Lion getting healed up, just wants to run away and survive with his life. Instead, he will fall in the end, and now, oh wow, swap onto the hooked target. Big mistake coming out there by Vengeful Spirit. No communication whatsoever. The Terrorblade was killed by the Tinker there, almost certainly. Yeah? Yes, okay. I wanted to make sure. I thought for sure I just blanked out there for a second. So as a very costly defense, they got 3 kills, but it cost them 4 kills, or 4 deaths. It's a better way of putting it. Oh, good blink behind the Storm Spirit. He's got to jump away now. Simple rearm. He has the first level of Dagon now. It's pretty normal build, and I'm wondering if he's gonna be super aggressive. Nope. Just gonna spam more March of the Machines. We've got 3 smoked up here in the Radiant Jungle, and they look to be going mid, I guess, or ganking this top lane. It's definitely mid. They saw the Earthshaker and Terrorblade and said they'll just find the Earthshaker. There's that degen aura doing big work, slowing him down before he even gets a chance. Ooh, Metamorphs are coming out. They thought it was just 1 or 2 of them. They thought they could fight it, and they probably can with the Vengeful Spirit now. Locked in with the illusion. He'll die really fast. Doesn't even get a chance to sunder anything. Clockwork, oh, misses the mark yet again. And now it looks like the Venge will fall here. One more right click, one more nuke. Rockets, there we are. And that'll be the end of that. Tuscan a little too deep now. Good cogs coming out from Clockwork. And Storm Spirit half HP, but he's going to get burst down by the Tinker. Rockets, another barrage. He's going to have to run. No mana, little health. It is not good for him. And another super costly team fight for the entire team. And yeah, some misplays by them so far. They didn't. They underestimated the early game dominant power from 10 minutes up until what's probably gonna be like 25 to 30 minutes if the Radiant allow them to that they're gonna get here. So as I did mention earlier, I do think the Dire Side carries harder, especially with the Terrorblade that has this sort of farm at this point in the game. The problem is he just can't do much with that farm right now. Just gets burst down again. Pure damage on top of the Blade Mail, and that's a dead Terrorblade. He's got the power treads now set on strength. That'll mean he'll have just about 800 to 900 HP. It's not what you want to be sitting on at this point. See, even the Storm Spirit is really weak right now. Easily burst down by the Tinker combo. Level 2 Dagon. And he's just going to be farming heroes for kills at this point. Yeah, no big survivability items coming out here. We got an urn. We have the medallion on Venge, but these guys aren't gonna. I mean, if there's one thing I could say about them is that this lineup isn't tanky. Apart from Clockwork, they don't have any really tanky heroes. Yeah, we'll see the 2 supports get picked off again. And Terrorblade TP, and he really should have canceled that, and he's almost certainly gonna fall here. Yeah, there we go. Clockwork only survivor, gets the Omni Knight in the cogs and the hook shot. We'll see some ice shards here in a moment. All he's gotta do is throw them out, but no, Tuska doesn't want to have any of that. He's got a Shadow Blade, he's got the phase boots. His attack is pretty dang strong at this point. This tier 2 has just been nothing but a siege for the past 4 minutes, and it's going to be certainly falling down. They don't have any big game-changing items coming out. Clockwork building a Blade Mail, but still a solid distance away from about 1,000 gold away from that. No Earthshaker, nowhere near enough money for Blink Dagger, and Storm Spirit well, what is that, like a good 2,000 off of 2,000? I don't know. Math is difficult right now. Very large chunk of the Orchid off, and he's not going to be able to do much. Apart from that 1 kill he found on the Viper bottom, there wasn't much he could do. But instead, we were seeing these big items that can change the way the Radiant play with the Blink Dagger online. He can be way more aggressive now. Shadow Blade on on Tusk, Mech and Blade Mail, now with a Yasha. Now with more Yasha coming out on Viper, and Tinker getting more and more levels in these Dagon. And they don't need to get other items. They have damage, they have the ability to initiate and play around the opposing team. The Earthshaker's not at a point where he's scary yet. His Clockwork has been really lackluster at this point. Some nice cogs, but doesn't seem to be paying attention to where his hero is in position to everything else. Oh, the Venge getting stuck on the edge of the fissure in ice shards, and she's gonna fall now. Little bit of a waste there from the Viper to pop her ult on it. There's the Blade Mail. That's gonna be some big damage coming out. Reflected back onto all of them. Terrorblade's already at half health. He wants to sunder somebody, but the Dagon takes him down, and that's a full team wipe. He calls GG right now, but
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
and to be honest, I would suspect the same thing. He doesn't. Oh wow! Bought a casual cloak to reduce some of his magic damage, but even then, man, this is a painful situation to be in. Because he thought he got way too greedy with that Radiance for certain. The one nice thing about Terrorblade is the fact that he can fight early and get kills early, as you noted. But once the Radiant started getting these survivability items and weren't getting picked off by him, and were able to in fact burst him down, which is what he's weak against, which is like the 10-minute mark. All he had was the Radiance and the Midas, and no HP, and now he's got almost... Oh wait, that's an illusion, but HP is still the same thing. Almost 900 HP at 23 minutes. Yeah, pretty much everybody. The support, the 5 support on Lion has just around the same HP. Tinker, oh, not falling yet. They have to use some magic damage here on the dire side. There we go. One more rocket to pop out. But I think the damage is done. Oh wow, no, Terrorblade now comes in. Clockwork buys back. Little bit of a waste buyback by the Clockwork. Well, actually, I would have said that, but the Tinker now has his own buyback, so he's a buyback of his own before the Clockwork, and I think the Clockwork's kind of hunting for the Tinker. He didn't use his ultimate, so he wants to find it. Yeah, one thing I didn't know, like I was saying, Storm Spirit's a good jump on Tinker, but so is Clockwork. Clockwork is kind of built for it. Locking him in one place with a mini stun, stopping him from channeling anything, long range initiation, vision on him. A good Clockwork player should be able to hunt down Tinkers fairly easily when they go on lanes and whatnot. That was a pretty good team fight for them. They got a 3 for 2 with a buyback on both sides. It's definitely what you want to be taking. I mean, it's not even, but it's almost even, and it wasn't a team wipe. So it feels really demoralizing in these situations when you take as best of a team fight as you can, and you still lose a lot of guys. But you got to realize how. I mean, yeah, look at how far they are down in the golden XP at this point, and you might not be able to see those graphs in game, but you can. I mean, you can certainly feel when the enemy has a gold advantage. I mean, just compare your items to the opponent's ones. I mean, they have large completed, or semi-large completed items for the early game. Blink daggers, shadow blades, mechs, drums, blink. Let's see, Sanj and Yasha. You can feel, and then compare it to your own. And when you're sitting on mostly components, then it's it's not a you can understand what I'm trying to get to, I think. But when you're down that much, taking a almost even trade is still good for you. As long as you're not getting wiped as they were and committing to an entire team fight where everyone dies, then it's a good trade for the most part. Even just getting a couple kills, it can be devastating to a team dying a few times or having a few people killed. Can be devastating to the team that's in the lead because you'll be scared to go in because you're afraid you're gonna be giving your advantage away. Like what's happening right now. That only 2 have died so far. The Earthshaker will survive. Yeah, there's the Venge, but it's an even trade. 3 for 3. Tinker, the big 2 on the Radiant didn't die. The Tinker and the Viper, but the big 1 on the dire side didn't die. So an almost even trade again. If the Storm Spirit didn't die, it would have been I would said it's even as possible. But getting killed or taking even fights as this can be terrifying when you're a team that you know you're ahead, you're scared that you've waited too long to press your advantage, or you didn't press it hard enough and you misplayed something. I do that all the time. I've been in plenty of situations where I've won or lost the early game regardless, and then go into the mid game and just crush things, and then 15 minutes later, all of a sudden, whoa, what happened? We just ran into them and we all got wiped. I thought we were ahead by a large amount, and then you start losing the game from there. I've played way too many games like that. Not proud to admit that, but it's just something people do, and it's a momentum thing. If you can turn the momentum around when you're behind, then it's a very powerful force for your team. And it looks like the Dire side are actually holding pretty decently so far. Spoiler, I know this game goes to 60 minutes, and I have a feeling that there's a reason Deckard Pain sent this to me, and not just because his team won the early game and stomped the mid game. But I'm gonna ignore that for the time being. So just kind of play along with the cast for now. Thanks. So the Radiant are looking to do Roche now. They get picked off by the Clockwork, and the Dire team here want to set up for it. Oh, looks like the Radiant's getting a little scared of it. Yeah, the Dire side's posting up for it, but I think if they take a good team fight where they're just kind of split up like this, yep, here's the Venge, not able to do anything, no stun coming out from her. Ooh, a beautiful hook finally from the Clockwork, weaving in between. He's going to actually be able to take down almost two before the end, and the Tusk is kind of out of position. The Tinker's still up, the Viper's still up, but it's a 2 for 2. Support offlaner trade. Again, even trades. What you want to be taking. Your cores didn't die. Again, the Terrorblade, who has all the farm. My goodness, I haven't even used stats this game. GG, guys. GG. Best caster NA. Yeah, so as you can see, Deckard Pain is all of the farm on the Dire team. And when I mean that, I mean, wow, look at that. Combined, the rest of his team almost is around, I mean, it's a little bit more, but yeah. Combined, the rest of his team is just barely ahead of his own gold. So these guys are really poor. Terrorblade really fed, really farmed, that is. But I don't think Terrorblade is at the point where he's able to solely win this game. He's an illusion hero, so just as Naga and PL, they are notorious for trying a game out, and I'm certain that's what we're gonna see here. Heaven's Halberd going out in the Viper. That'll be really solid for taking out the Terrorblade. I'm not sure if Manta dispels that. I have no idea how like 90% of things with Manta work. It's pretty bad. I really should know more of that. I just know sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Hook in on 2, but he's gonna fall now. We have Blade Mail on 1. Yeah, just one. It might have looked like 2. I think it was the Clockwork had 2. Oh, the Viper will now fall. He gets burst down. The Tusk falling. Big jump in by the Storm Spirit, and it'll just be a smooth-ish disengage from the Radiant here. And now we're starting to see some positive trades. 1 for 2 coming out in favor of the Dire side. They had to pop the Metamorphosis. They had to sacrifice the Clockwork. You have to sacrifice something when you're behind. I've seen a lot of people not understand that. They say I don't want to go in because they're just gonna kill me. Well, when you're playing a position 5 or ish support, or people with 5k net worth at 30 minutes in the game, they get scared. I just don't want to die again. I want to be able to farm up for my stuff. But for the rest of your team to survive, you need a sacrificial lamb. You're not going to be taking a five-man wipe for nothing, or even a kill for nothing when you were behind and are behind. I guess I should still say at the Dire side. You have to sacrifice something. Oh, the Orchid coming out by Storm Spirit. He just got to make one more jump away. The Tinker getting silenced up, wasn't able to finish anything. And there's that Orchid saving the Storm Spirit's life on like 45 HP. Finally up. It's really late, Orchid, but it's... I think he's probably already found some really solid value in it. I would imagine he's going to be going for something with HP and or magic magic immunity. I guess BKB would be a really good one. I don't like BKB on Storm, but I understand it's a good item. Like when I'm playing Storm, I want to say that I don't want to say it like that. When I'm playing Storm, I don't like buying BKB. No Storm player likes buying BKB. I don't think, but it's kind of a reality you have to face. Like, okay, to not explode in team fights, I need to not get hit by, you know, lasers and rockets and stuff like that. So I got to be magic immune. And it really does suck when you have to get one, because it really gimps how much you're able to do in a fight. But I mean, at least that way it feels like. But when you look at it the other way, is without it you wouldn't be able to do hardly anything in a team fight. So it's just one of those items that you buy reluctantly, and you don't go, okay, yeah, second item I'm buying BKB, hooray. It's a pain to build up. The damage doesn't do much for Storm. He's a mostly magic damage and skill damage, you know, based guy. So the damage doesn't do much. The HP is nice, I'll give it that, but oh yeah, oh wow, good jump away. Survives actually in the end, and now the Viper is kind of a little bit there on the front. He used the slam, Echo Slam coming out here, and Blade Mail though kind of wrecking his face. I think he would have waited another second there and he would have been fine. Thunder for very little HP change. There's the mech. That's the Venge coming out, and that's a pretty big mess up. Ooh, Agents of the Immortal popped. Tinker rearm and go for another round on him. He's only got 1300 HP, so this Dagon, I'm certainly a Dagon 5 by now. Yeah, Dagon 5 is like almost all of his HP. And this will be 2 lanes of racks. 10 seconds up till Earthshaker, 20 seconds up till Storm Spirit. This bottom rack is fine. They have the fortification, but it's not gonna save them here, I don't think. Yeah, just the other half of the team beating on the mid lane. Oh, except Clockwork's up now. These mid lanes are doing. Husky's gonna certainly fall here. Bottom lane does get out clean. Earthshaker's dead yet again, and oh wow, Deckard Pain finally finished up his Eye of Scotty there that I haven't mentioned anything about. Storm Spirit got to jump away, use all of his mana up. He's gonna be regenerating there for a second. Venge is up now. Clock is alive. Oh, and speak of the devil, and now Viper will probably fall. Oh, Sunder's the Vengeful Spirit to be able to fight again. Very solid play by him. Finger of Death coming out onto Storm Spirit. He's gonna have to go back all the way to the well and regen everything. And Tinker, only survivor. He's got to clear these radiants if he wants to get a chance to blink. But instead, he'll die himself. Big right-click damage coming out with 3 illusions and Terrorblade on him. And the mid racks are defended. Yeah, mid-racks are, that's definitely a good win. Lion way too close to the enemy base. He's going to fall to the Storm Spirit. Not sure what he was thinking. He was sitting about 3rd health with no mana. Not sure what your plan was there, but man, that was an odd move. Yeah, repel the creep. Very pro play. Next level stuff coming out here by Omni Knight. I didn't want that creep to get affected by magic damage. Man, I wish I had something more clever to say than that, but it's when you talk for 35 minutes straight, you find out that you run out of words really easily. If things so interesting. Good hook shot coming out on the Viper. He's repelled now, so he's going to be focused down by the Terrorblade, and right-click damage coming out. Took way too long to pop his Blade Mail. It should have been off cooldown, and he'll take a fall again, focused down by the Terrorblade. Has Terrorblade gotten too big to handle anymore? Lion trying to do something, but he's gonna instead get run away by the big illusions here. And Terrorblade finally starting to hit some sort of like big carry point. He's got with that Eye of Scotty, one thing I didn't have a chance to note to mention is that his HP is now way more than desirable, or way more than standard with the HP, the stats, and everything. It's a terrific item on Terrorblade if you can get it. Between the stats, the slow, and the raw HP you just get with it, it's a pretty much perfect item for Terrorblade. It turns him into a squishy little carry that that deals a lot of damage, but gets exploded really easily into something that's that if you're not expecting it, like on the Radiant side, they might have not. If you're not expecting it entirely, then you go like, oh yeah, we can just burst this guy down as we have been doing for the past 30 minutes or whatever. Then you hit him with your nukes, and he's still alive. Omni Knight had a haste rune, so he was really confident in his plays, but gets chain stunned to the ground. Tusk coming in, hook shot will land on him. Storm Spirit jumping really far. There's the Hex on him, and Tusk has a BKB. Clock will fall. Storm Spirit's dead. Omni Knight's dead, and now the Tusk will fall yet again. Tinker still alive, unable to kill anyone else. A 2-for-2 trade. Pretty solid. Let's take a look at graphs. They're still up by 12,000 gold, and they brought back a little bit, 15,000 XP. But this Terrorblade is a big deal. It's gotten to the point where Vengeful Spirit and Earthshaker, especially with that Blink Dagger that he has now, has had, I should say, for the past 8 minutes or so, are gotten to the point where they can throw themselves at the opposing team, and the Terrorblade will just kill everything. So, this is, the rating. I've gotten way too greedy, I think, in some of these fights. They're trying to play like it was 25 minutes in the game and not going on 40 minutes in the game with a Terrorblade that deals. Wow, that's a good chunk of damage, man. Even before the metamorphosis, but that's only 80 more on top of the right around 300 damage he has, depending on what auras are around him. So the Dire team now is able to, create a wall with their bodies, more or less, to stop the Radiant from getting in, and Deckard Pain will just clean everything up. Whether he has metamorphosis or not, he has the ability to survive and kite with Scotty. Now with Butterfly up, as I'm just noticing that the right-click damage isn't going to be much, and the nuke isn't going to be a large deal coming out as much anymore as well, because he has that raw HP. These illusions deal a load of damage, and yeah, they definitely don't want to be dealing with them. The Tusk has a BKB, as I mentioned in the last fight, but it's not going to help him against the right clicks. He was still stuck in the cogs, and the cogs were most certainly his death there. But this Terrorblade will continue his CS rampage of doom, sitting on top with 312. Whoop, boy! His net worth now surpassing the Tinker, who has sat on top for pretty much the entirety of the game. And yeah, we've seen the Tinker hit critical mass. He has Scythe. He has Dagon. There's not a specific item that's going to be like, yeah, this is going to get it. Oh, good swap out there by the Venge. Really easy kill. Good pick off. The Venge will make it away because the Lion was out of position on his own, and I just heard the Sunder animation, but I guess it was canceled. Oh, good hook shot coming in. This guy is getting to redeem himself. Right on the Tinker. Right exactly where you wanted. Oh, Tusk rolls into the cogs. Now going to be kited down. Blade Mail on the Viper, but that's going to help him a little bit, but once it falls, he falls as well. And that's a two for a wipe coming in favor of the Dire side. Very, very good defense. Not sure. One thing I didn't mention is I have no idea why the Radiant is trying to siege this top lane. The mid lane is exposed. The ranged barracks is mostly dead. The melee one has regened up to full HP. What other item shall we see coming out for Terrorblade? And it's a heart. Oh boy. Raid boss Terrorblade coming out here, ladies and gentlemen. One last item for him. He's sitting on, just look at his current gold. He's sitting on 880 80 gold so far, and there's one last tower with a creep wave on top of that, and that'll be his heart for him. And that's pretty much all hope for killing the Terrorblade out the window for the Radiant. The rest of his team might be underfarmed, but man, 30 going on 30k net worth is on a Terrorblade illusion hero that is really good at. Oh my goodness, he might get a kill here. Illusions almost killed the Omni Knight, who was way too slow. He could have popped the wand charges, but even then I wouldn't have wanted to go below 200 HP with him there. Storm, showing how absolutely terrified of Tinker he is. Wastes all of his mana and jumping back. Probably didn't have to do those last two jumps. He has a Blade Mail of his own. That's an interesting pick. Blade Mail for the Storm Spirit, not something you see picked up very often, but he has it, and it might be making a little difference for him. I think he's just trying to make the most out of his own death. Make the most out of his own death as being to understand that's what he's doing. As you see, Clockwork has a Blade Mail now. Earthshaker is getting the Blade Mail. Yeah, they're going Blade Mail gaming. Not only is Blade Mail a great item for when you know you're gonna die, so you can still deal damage even though you're dying or getting focused on. But it's really good against Tinker because all you have to do is stand in his level 4 March of the Machines with 3-4 heroes. Preferably everybody for a guaranteed, but four heroes or so, and pop it, and all of a sudden Tinker is going, why is my health disappearing? Where is it going? It might not be enough to actually kill him at this point in the game. He kind of has some decent HP of his own, especially with that Scythe of Ice, the stats coming from that. Nothing like Terrorblade, but certainly one of the tankier, certainly one of the tankier ones for the most part. Coming out here by them, I guess he isn't. They're all sitting around. The three cores are kind of sitting around 2k HP. So, but he's still be tanky. I don't think the March of Machines Blade Mail is definitely something to worry about. Unless he stacks like 2 or 3 of them on top of each other, in which case it'd be really kind of bad news for him. Radiant want to take Roche. I'm not even sure this is going to be a big deal. They need to be able to kill the Terrorblade before he does things. He's so big and so farmed that you can't. Oh, see, there he goes. Almost dying to the robots before he was able to do anything. But it looks like he's gonna make it fine. Go back to base and regen. They know they're doing Roche. There's the rocket to get the confirmation, and it's a really slow Roche. They don't have any negative armor coming out for him. Roche is a tanky dude, and now the Terrorblade illusion's coming in. Guardian Angel coming out. This will be the fall of Earthshaker before he gets to really cast anything. The illusions are here, and they're going to start doing some work picking off these supports on the back end. Tusk almost falling to the Radiance Burn himself. There's the Manta popped, and the clock does fall on his own. But now the Terrorblade is back in, and will he make it out is the big question. Viper focusing on him, trying to throw as much aids his way. Tinker, not focusing on him anymore, seeing that that heart is keeping him alive. And now that is 3 dead on the side of the Radiant. Tusk the only survivor. Tusk the only survivor apart from the Lion who did get out. Holding the gem, left really early in the fight. Did not want to drop that gem. But Terrorblade, 3.5k HP. This is a raid boss. Terrorblade not even gonna take the Roche or take the Aegis. Instead, giving that to Storm Spirit, a very, very good holder of the Aegis. You can jump in, pop some magic, get some spells thrown on you, die, and then respawn, have full mana, and it's a good combination. Tusk needs to be really careful here, make sure Radiance Burn doesn't get him, but he'll be far away enough. And it looks like we'll start to see this bottom lane fall really quickly from these illusions. This Terrorblade is so fat, it is kind of disgusting. I mean the inevitable is in sight. There's be some huge misplays. He's not going to be focused down anymore. The rest of his team is starting to survive these fights alongside him. They're starting to get gold. It's not really it's really not going to be
Tower has fallen.
a question of who's going to win, apart from some bizarre, unforeseen circumstances that come out here. The Radiant just don't have the damage to deal with him. Their lineup, as I mentioned much earlier on, is a 10 to 25 minute focused game. They needed to get as much as they could done in those time, and the Dire team, while they lost to Rax, it wasn't the end of the world for them. They had a Radiance on the Terrorblade, and so a lane of Rax isn't actually a big deal in that sort of situation. You don't want to lose it, but you're not going to be going, that's GG, we don't have the ability to clear it. They did. They have the Radiance. They have it on the Terrorblade, and who can just farm it up really easily, while the other lanes, they didn't lose 2 lanes of Rax. I fear if there was 2 lanes of Rax gone, this game might have had a little bit of a different outcome. But they defended it when they defended it when the big siege was happening, and the Radiant got a little greedy, trying to focus on both of them at once instead of one or the other, and they waited way too long to make a serious push out of it. They fought around the towers a lot. They traded a few heroes, but they got really good wipes and whatnot. So I mean, it's hard to blame them for that. But their lineup doesn't have much actual uphill siege power, which is a pretty big weakness on it. Instead, we'll just be seeing. I mean, I can predict the rest of this outcome now. It's just, some deaths on some supports here coming out from Dire side, but this Terrorblade, too big to kill, too farmed to have any hope against Viper, who was the big carry, the big Mamba Jamba for a while. He falls really easily now. Tusk just trying to get what he can done, but few right clicks, and he'll fall himself. The Blade Mail keeping Viper alive for the time being, but he's gonna die. He's gonna die now really easily. There's just nothing. There's just nothing for the Radiant to do at this point. They lost the game. They lost the game when they didn't get 2 lanes of Rax before the Terrorblade got more than a Radiance, or more than the Radiance that he had at the time. Instead, now he's 6-slotted. He's got more gold than he knows what to do with. And only thing he can upgrade is getting rid of the boots into some boots of travel. Maybe doing the whole cheeky buy your own courier, have it follow you around with its own Necro 3 on it, swap, activate, sort of push strat, because he has the kind of gold. He has the gold for it. So I wouldn't be entirely surprised if he did something like that. But otherwise, there's not much more you want to get. You want the Manta. To get more split push, more illusions. Scotty gives you HP. The Butterfly gives you the right click and damage. The Radiance is what you need to clear waves at this point. It's a big part of it. It might not be necessary, but it does speed things up, and the heart keeps you being unkillable. So, even though I'm 99% certain the outcome of this game from this point out, I will still try to go over, and I'll just use this time as kind of what I have been doing, I guess, is try to focus on what what the Radiant could have done better, what they needed to do, sort of thing, what items they should have bought, like the weaknesses of the draft and stuff like that. And as I was saying before, the Terrorblade killed everything. The Radiant have a low power high ground pushing lineup. They don't have anything that affects towers. They don't have anything. They don't have any really good initiation.
It's full of stars.
For most of the early game, what it was the Viper wading into them, trying to absorb as much with his Blade Mail, and then healing up with mech, and then surviving that, and that was it. But the Lion can only lock down one person. The Tinker is not not a target you want to have on the front. Omni-Knight can help with. Omni-Knight is really good at counter initiations, or really coordinated initiations to a degree, but it's still not a big deal against this team. They couldn't crack the base that fast, and I think that was their downfall. They had the early game, they had they had the damage to take these outer towers really fast, and the team fights because the Terrorblade had Radiance and a Midas. So that's it's just a result of it. But they couldn't push fast enough. They didn't have any negative armor. It would have been nice to see a Desolator on somebody try to fix that, or some other pushing thing. But instead, they will lose now here at 51 minutes, and GG Terrorblade, too big to handle. Raid boss Terrorblade sitting on, holy crap, 943 gold per minute in a 51-minute game. That's a lot of gold. GG guys. Need to push a little bit faster, a little bit earlier, and good job on the Dire team for holding it together. The Radiance might have lost you the early game, but it is certainly what won you the late game. So good job to Deckard Pain for sending this in. If anybody out there has any games you want casted, feel free to send them in. Just message me or put them in the comments below for other people to look at or judge for themselves. I would like them to be, I don't know. I'm not going to be picky, I guess. I don't think I've earned the ability to be picky yet. I prefer captain's mode games, but I'll cast just about anything you guys want. Thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. It was an interesting game. I would have liked to not know as much about the game before it happened, I guess, because it was pretty clear to me when he posted it online what the outcome was going to be. So the suspense for me was a little not there. So try not to spoil your games too much to say it was good or whatnot. But still, send them in. I'll cast them. Thank you for watching, guys. Any criticisms or critiques for anything, I've been trying to do a little bit better paying attention to the mini-map. Audisick was mentioning that the other day to me, so I've been trying to pay a little more attention. I think I've been catching more action here or there. It's it's not perfect, but I think it's an improvement from my first one that I casted on Monday. So I guess for the third time, thank you for tuning in, guys. You guys are the best, and I'll catch you. I'll probably upload a video. I'll try to get one earlier on Thursday night instead of this will be a Thursday afternoon for Wednesday. So I'm just gonna stop recording before I say more words. Night, guys.